every single set, I tell you guys the same thing. Don't FOMO out. Wait for the crash. The cards will be cheaper. But with Riftbound Unleashed, I'm actually going to tell you the opposite. We have epics that are under $1 on TCG Player right now. That's not a typo. That's not a trick. So if you're a collector or a completionist, this is your window. So look, I'm not in the business of telling who or what to buy, what card, when to buy it, and when not to buy it. I just like to give my recommendations. Now, this is literally the opposite of what I normally say, because every single set I say cards spike at pre-release, players FOMOs, and then 2 weeks later, those same cards crash about 50% cheaper. They stabilize. I said it 100 times in this channel. But with Unleashed, this is actually a little bit different. Riot actually printed plenty of this set. The supply is out there. Booster boxes are available. Singles are flooding TCG Player right now. And the result? There's a lot of non-meta epics. Cards that would have cost you maybe 10, 20 bucks in Origins for non-meta cards, right now for Unleashed are sitting under $1. Now, let's get this straight. Most of these cards are not your top 5 decks. So no LeBlanc, no Master Yi, Diana, or any kind of Aurora or Aurelia. These are all the decks that are driving demand. If you're a collector or you're a completionist, you don't need cards to be meta. You just need them to be cheap. And guys, right now, they are, and they're textbook cheap. So, one thing I've always said, when I actually look at buying cards or singles, I do like to have at least 2 copies of almost every epic, because I never know if they're actually going to be eventually good later on in the meta. I'm actually going to change that. My original strategy was, if it was less than $5, I auto buy. But with the way Unleashed is now, and I'm starting to see how that's going to be playing effect, maybe in future releases like the next set of Vendetta, I think if you see epics that are probably under $2, you just auto scoop them up. It's just a no-brainer at that point, because there could be a scenario where you pick up an epic that's 50 cents, and maybe 2 or 3 cents from now, that's a $20, $30 card, and you're winning. So let's go ahead and dive into TCG Player, and let's check it out. All right, so let's get into TCG Player. All right, so we're gonna go over here to Riftbound. All right, we're going to be looking for Unleashed, and let's go ahead and switch the rarity to epic, and let's set the pricing low to high. Now let's look at this, guys. We have Gutter Palace is literally 11 cents with a market price of 45 cents. Just so we can make sure it actually is, because you know sometimes they have the Chinese prices. Look, it's 11 cents, y'all. 11 cents with $1.49 shipping. It's going to cost you more to pay for shipping than get this card. If you have, this is the time to buy the cards, right? I actually spent this weekend and looked through my binder and started finding all of the cards that I was missing one or even had none. And I started buying at least 2 copies. I literally went down this entire set and looked at my binder and said, oh, I need one here. I have none here. Let me get 2. And I started scooping them up. I think I ended up buying close to 25 cards, or no, I bought 30 cards, which I optimized my cart so that they can get all of the sellers and all in one so I could pay less shipping. And I think I paid a total of $21. It is absolutely insane. So if we look at it, yeah, is any deck using Gutter Palace? No, but for 11 cents, I think it's the time you just pick it up. It's an epic. It could be good. It could not be good, but I just like to have the epics. And by the way, if you're going to be going on TCG Player and buying any of these, I would greatly appreciate if you use my TCG Player affiliate link. It is going to be in the description. It doesn't cost you anything, and it helps the channel out because I get a little bit of commission. But if you do that, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Now, let's look at some of these cards here, like Vi Hot Headed, 39 cents. Is Vi a meta deck? No. But is Vi a favorite legend or favorite character in the universe? Yes. So I've actually seen someone play in the arcade, play a Vi deck during my Nexus night. They like Vi, they played Vi, they only had one of the units. So I was like, okay, go buy the other ones. They're like 50 cents, man. They're like, what? And they went to look and they ended up buying them. we've seen some poppy decks. I've seen some poppy decks pop up. So again, look, you can get poppy unit, 25 cents. There's going to be, again, Vi goes, the Tech Scotlands go with the Vi. Curtain Call, I mean, that's a Pike signature spell. Like there's Keeper's Verdict. I played someone in my locals this weekend who has a poppy deck, and this Keeper's Verdicts that bounce my card kind of hurts. You can get this for less than $1. We have the Lilia, Protector of Dreams. Again, there's a Lilia deck that's kind of aggro. It's not people would consider the top 5 in the meta, but you can get her for 48 cents. Ivern runs Disney, right? Ivern runs Daisy, okay? We have the Vex deck, runs Shadow. We've seen some decks that were playing the Vex run at least 2 Shadows in there. You can pick up Shadow right now for 60 cents. Guys, that is a no-brainer. Let's talk about Diana. We know Diana is one of the bigger popular heroes in the meta deck. You can pick her up for 49 cents. We got LeBlanc here. LeBlanc is currently sitting not sub $1, but we're looking at about $2.50 market, $2.73. Let's move back up here. Death from Below. This is Pike. There's a lot. There's that hand rip Pike that I've seen people play. There's an aggro version as well. I mean, $1 for a signature spell. I mean, you just can't beat that, guys. Alpha Strike, mid-range G. We're looking at mid-range G runs at least 2 Alpha Strikes. They usually run maybe 1 to 2 main list, maybe 1 in the sideboard. You can pick up a signature spell for $1 right now. Let's move on. But like I said, I literally went one by one, bloop, 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 and started adding all these cards to my cart. There's no reason why you shouldn't be picking up if you're a completionist or not. Now, remember, I said earlier, if you see any cards, probably my original strategy was if Epic was under $5, I probably scooped it up. If I didn't have at least 1, I like to have 2. Now, because we're seeing such a supply in the market, we're going to look at that in a minute. Because there's so much Unleashed being printed, that leads me to believe with set 4, which is Vendetta, that comes out in about 3 months, we're probably going to see the same thing. So again, we're going to be talking about those cards. You don't want to buy anything during pre-release weekend because we're going to see those drop. And now I can see that some of these epics that might not be part of the meta, we're going to see them crash hardcore. And then that tells me I could just sit back and watch. So probably going forward, this set and moving forward, it's always going to be about buying singles. Now, some of you are going to say, hey, it's always been the great time to buy singles. Yes, you're absolutely correct. But I just want to reinforce it for Unleashed going forward. Probably the best bet for a lot of people is probably wait 2 weeks after release and then start buying your singles because the market's going to have plateaued at that point and you can get the best deal. Now, if we're looking at the cards, if we really sit down and look, what are the cards that are really above that $10 price point? We only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. That is it. And the Vex market's currently sitting at $14, but you can get this Vex from the starter decks. So that might be causing some of this price. I called this card going down. I didn't think that was going to be that expensive. And I think what my hits are coming up. But I'm going to bring up my in a couple of weeks, I'm going to do another review of where I did my pricing, where I thought pre-release prices and what happens once the market settles. We're going to see how close I got on all these calls. Rift Herald, $7.50, closer to a $10 market. Again, this is LeBlanc. You probably need a playset of these guys, so that's what we're probably going to see him around this range. Vex, I think all these cards are going to stay about this range that you're seeing. Whether the list price or the market price is probably going to end up staying there. The only thing that's going to cause such a shift is what happens in the Vancouver regional qualifier this weekend. And if there's like some deck comes out of nowhere that's running, 3 renewations, maybe the card goes up. But outside of that, we're not going to see that. Now, let's talk about some of these other cards that were costing closer to anywhere above $2 to $5 range. Again, when it comes for that, I would probably, if you have none, I would probably hold off on buying them because if the market continues not being used, I think these have a little bit more of a cushion for them to drop a little bit. Not too much more. I don't see them getting cheaper than $3, but if they're at $3, you're missing one or two, go ahead and pick them up. Now then, we have that weird range. We only have these 3 cards that are like between that $5 to $10 range. I think Rift Herald's going to stay the same. Like for Ruination, I'm the type of person, if I don't have one, I'm going to buy at least one. Now, keep in mind, if you have Origins, remember the raffle happening today. If you check your emails, if I have extra Origins cards that I don't need, and they tend to have a higher trade value, I'm probably going to use that to fill in all of these cards that I have. Now, let's move on to the overall just sealed product real quick. Okay, so right now we're looking at a booster display. So we're getting a booster box for $108.99. The market price is $110, which is below MSRP. And then we're looking at a case of Unleash is costing right now about this one's $600 plus $9 shipping and taxes. So basically you're getting a box at $100. That is a steal. I do not see this going any cheaper. Let's look at the sales. Yeah. So $600 might be where we're at for a little bit. I think once these stores are getting a little bit more desperate that some of this product is not moving out the store as fast. Usually during Origins and Spirit Force, this stuff was gone in like the same day. As you can see, this decline, we're probably going to see that decline going forward. In a nutshell, guys, this is a completely awesome time to get into Riftbound. You have any friends that are playing? Start building some of the newer decks. No, don't go build, the Aurora Sivir. It's going to cost too much money. You can probably pick up and build some of these decks very, very cheaply. So like I said, today is the time to start buying out some of these cards that are basically under $1. If you have a little bit more of a budget, maybe start looking at some of those cards that are cost just over $1 to $2, $3. And if you're a baller, you want to splurge a little, you could probably pick up some of those cards that are under $10 that you're missing some. So go ahead, check out my TCG Player link. And if you need any singles, you can always check out my eBay store. But I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.